quick and dirty improvising soloing lesson. I'm going to try to keep this short if I can for you guys. Step one is you need to know some scales. We're going to keep it super basic. If you don't already know your A minor pentatonic scale, you should go learn that. That's the scale we're going to use today. You got to have that already and like pretty comfortable with it, up and down. Like not stumbling through it, forgetting which fret on which string, and forgetting the pattern. You got to be super confident with your pattern. I'm surprised the amount of times I've sit down with another player and I'm like, do you know your scales? And like, yeah, I know it. I can play by pentatonic. I'm like, okay, play it. And they're like, and they're missing it. Like they'll get it halfway correct, you know, or they'll reverse some of the pattern. You know, okay, so you learned it at one point in time for a hot second, kind of, but then you didn't continue to practice it. So I mean, I've encountered that a lot. People are like, yeah, I know my scales. I'm like, cool, play them. And they're like, and they can kind of do it, but they're stumbling through it. I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. You got to be super confident. Not guessing what frets and notes you're playing. You got to know. All right. So that's step one. Once you have a scale that you're very confident with, the problem is you practice the scale, you know, very linearly up and down. That's usually how we learn the patterns, but that's not how you use them. That's how you learn it, but that's not really how you use it. You kind of have to break out of playing it as an exercise and do it like you're playing music. All right. The quickest, fastest way to do that, in my opinion, one of the quickest, fastest ways, is stick to just two strings. We're using the A minor pentatonic, so let's get a reference point of like an A power chord or an A minor. Well, I like to start on your D string and your G string, so the inner two strings, fourth string and third string. Limit yourself to just those two strings. You don't get to play any of the others. You only got it. You can only play with those four notes. Right? Which is G, A, all right, C, and D. Now remember, a pentatonic scale only has 5 notes in it. Well, right there, 4 notes on 2 strings, you've got 4 out of the 5. Right, and the A, which would be your 7th fret on the D string, that is the root. That's an A. That's what key we're in. That's the tonal center. Okay, limit yourself to just 4 notes. Alright, so just limit yourself to those. And the next step is to think of really short musical ideas. Call these phrases, or the slang for that is licks. Don't play a long run-on sentence. Pick a couple of notes. Here's a basic one, right? So I'm going to go G, or I'll say the frets, 5, 7, string change, 3rd fret, 3rd string, 5, 7. That's about as basic as you can get. I'm starting at a note below my key center, the A. A note below that. Go up to the A. Go to 1 note higher than the A. And return, not to my starting note, but to the A. pretty vanilla right there. Just static, same speed. No embellishments. Embarrassments. Maybe a little embarrassment. No embellishments like vibrato. As vanilla as you can do it is that. 5/7, 5/7. That's a great place to start. But from there, doing little things like little micro bends. So I'm on that C note, 5th fret, 3rd string. I'm giving it like a little bend. Dimebag Darrell used to call those hick bends. It's like a quarter step bend. Little micro bends gives it some attitude. I'm going to hold out the landing note. I call it the landing note sometimes. The final note of the riff or the phrase or the lick. Like hold that note, right? This is the end. The vanilla version is that super vanilla. That's a great place to start. But once you have that, now we're going to put some spicy flavoring on it, which is a little bend. Now you don't want to bend all of them. That's too much. One of these notes I'm going to give a little tiny micro bend. A little vibrato. A little slide off the note. Descended, slid, landed the note, slid off of it on purpose. Which just gives it character, or some sass, or some expression, right? So we just took something that was very plain Jane and gave it some attitude. And I'm changing speeds. The first two notes are roughly the same speed. I'm kind of holding the note that I'm bending a little bit longer, and then I'm landing on the last note and vibrato, hold, slide. And you can play with the timing. So right then I just went same speed. And I got off of that C note really quickly. It's like da 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 da. So instead of holding that note out, this time I made it really short. So I was dragging that note out. Here's really short. So slower on the front. So just by playing with the timing of these four notes, playing with little things like vibrato, little micro bends, sliding off of it. I went same. I'm just using three notes. I'm not even using all four of these. I'm just using three notes. There, I started with my little micro bend note. I'm still landing on this A because I'm imagining playing this over an A. Over an A chord, right? Reordering those notes gave me a new lick, a new phrase. Now, if you play those back to back, now we just strung together two very small phrases to a little bit bigger statement doesn't sound like a scale. It sounds like a little piece of music. So, condensed tips. You've got to know the entire scale, backwards, forwards, up or down, skippy. If you're stumbling through it or making mistakes, you don't know the scale. Play it confidently, comfortably, not missing a note in the pattern. You should not be guessing which fret on what string to play. If you don't know that, got to go learn the scale inside and out, backwards and forwards. Once you've done that, we're going to minimize, take just two small, take two strings at a time. I like to do the inside because there's your root note, your tonic of your scale. Whatever string set you pick, make sure the tonic's one of those notes. In this one, we have an A here, we have an A there, have an A there. Tend to stick on the top four strings, first, second, third, fourth string. So right there, and bends are your friend. Taking two notes again. Now this is two notes instead of three on the G string, third string. 7, 7, 5, 7. Do some bends. Pull off. Get a lot of mileage inside of just 4 notes on 2 strings. Because again, your pentatonic scale has only got 5 notes. You get a lot of mileage there. Making it smaller choices, less data to work with, forces you to be more creative with less notes. And I'm just, noodling, playing a little bit. I know I want to land on the A, so I already have my landing note picked out. It may not be the first note I start the phrase with, but I already know I'm going to land on the A. I already have a target picked out. Where I start doesn't matter as much as long as I land it right. Little things, micro bends, changing the speed. Just don't make it all the same. Dot, 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 steady. Playing with the rhythm and the timing. Micro bends. Vibrato slides either off them or you can sliding into your starting note, sliding into your starting note, sliding off of your landing note. These are little tiny just phrasing things you can do. It's really fun. I enjoy doing this, but most people, they learn their scale and then it's like, all right, play something. And they just want to burn through the scale. It's like, because we spent so long practicing the scale up and down, we don't know how to just isolate a couple of notes to play a phrase. All right, quick and dirty improvising lick writing tips for you. Hope that was helpful. It's already too long. I'm going to cut it off. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Keep the music alive. Don't forget it. Music needs you. We need to keep it alive for the next generation. So excited. Let's go. Have a great weekend if I don't see you before the weekend's over.